Paul Laroux's story is one that seems ripped from the pages of a spy novel. A mastermind behind a global drug cartel, arms trafficking, and even internet crime, Le Roux was a man who played by his own rules. But as powerful as he was, his life took a surprising turn when he became an FBI informant. This video will take you inside the enigmatic world of Paul Le Roux, a man whose rise and fall defied belief and whose connections to the criminal underworld remain a mystery to this day. Paul Le Roux's life is one of the most intricate and intriguing tales in the world of organized crime. His story, however, extends far beyond his criminal empire. He is a man whose intellect, strategic foresight, and ability to stay under the radar made him a powerful figure in international crime. His journey from a software programmer to one of the most notorious crime bosses in the world paints a picture of the modern criminal, a person who can blend technology with traditional organized crime to create an empire that operates seamlessly across continents. The early days, humble beginnings, and ambitious dreams. Born in Mauritius in 1972, Paul Le Roux's childhood was shaped by frequent relocations due to his father's occupation, which gave him a perspective on the world that many of his peers lacked. While much is not known about his early life, it is clear that his family instilled in him an understanding of the global economy. His father was a banker, and his mother worked as a pharmacist. This mix of exposure to the financial world and the medical field may have influenced his later criminal ventures, particularly in prescription drug trafficking. After moving to South Africa, Le Roux's exposure to Western culture provided him with a sense of ambition that would eventually drive him to venture into the business world. With a keen interest in technology, he pursued a career in software programming, which laid the foundation for his future criminal activities. His early passion for coding and computer science helped him gain an understanding of how to manipulate the digital world, skills that would later help him remain hidden from law enforcement. While in South Africa, Le Roux worked for various companies as a programmer and developed a reputation for being highly skilled in his field. It was during this time that he began thinking about the intersection of technology and criminality. The growth of the internet in the late 1990s and early 2000s presented new opportunities, and Le Roux would soon take advantage of these opportunities, not for legal ventures, but to create a global criminal syndicate that would operate across digital platforms, the mastermind behind the global cartel. By the early 2000s, Paul Le Roux had fully shifted his focus from a conventional career in technology to creating an illegal empire. In the Philippines, Le Roux established a software company, which provided the cover for his other illicit activities. This company, which appeared legitimate on the surface, became the front for his growing criminal operations. His first major illegal venture involved the sale of prescription drugs online. Le Roux's company ran an internet pharmacy that supplied drugs to customers worldwide. His sophisticated online network allowed him to reach millions of potential clients, and soon, his operation expanded into the illegal sale of narcotics. He sold everything from anti-anxiety medications to potent painkillers. With no need for physical storefronts, he used encrypted online transactions to maintain anonymity, a tool that would prove critical in his rise to power. But the online pharmacy was just the beginning. As his wealth grew, Le Roux expanded into other areas of illegal activity. He became involved in weapons trafficking, providing arms to militant groups and corrupt governments in various parts of the world. His operations spanned multiple continents, with particular emphasis on areas of instability such as Africa and the Middle East. Le Roux's ability to smuggle large quantities of arms and drugs through multiple countries without detection was unmatched. He knew how to hide in plain sight, using false identities, shell companies, and encrypted communication channels to stay off the radar. Le Roux's criminal empire was not only involved in drugs and arms, but also in a variety of other illicit activities, including money laundering and human trafficking. He constructed a global network that involved hundreds of individuals, many of whom had no knowledge of the entire operation. He used offshore accounts, complex financial schemes, and international connections to funnel money and assets across borders. His ability to blend into different cultures and regions allowed him to forge relationships with corrupt officials, smugglers, and even intelligence operatives. An empire built on digital shadows. What set Le Roux apart from traditional criminals and organized crime bosses was his ability to operate in the digital age. While traditional criminals relied on physical networks and face-to-face meetings, Le Roux was able to maintain a global enterprise from behind a computer screen. His digital smuggling rings were extremely hard to trace, and his use of encrypted communications and virtual identities made it nearly impossible for law enforcement agencies to track him. For Le Roux, the internet was both his tool and his shield. He used the dark web to facilitate drug sales and weapons trafficking, operating under pseudonyms and using encrypted platforms to conceal his identity. He maintained a network of hackers, coders, and other cybercriminals who assisted in laundering money and covering up his tracks. What made his empire particularly dangerous was that Le Roux didn't rely on traditional crime families or street-level drug dealers. Instead, he operated through a sophisticated online network, which allowed him to connect with criminals from across the world, using digital tools to facilitate their activities. While his criminal empire flourished, Le Roux remained elusive, hardly ever appearing in public and rarely interacting with anyone outside of his trusted inner circle. He continued to expand his criminal operations into new territories, taking full advantage of the increasingly globalized world. His empire extended into numerous countries, with operations ranging from the Americas to Eastern Europe and even Africa. He built an intricate web of contacts that enabled him to smuggle everything from narcotics and firearms to counterfeit money and illegal substances. Ruthless power, the violent side of the cartel. Despite his reliance on digital tools and technology, Paul Le Roux's cartel was not without its brutal side, though he avoided the kind of violence that defined traditional crime families. Le Roux was not opposed to using force when necessary. He was involved in numerous acts of violence, including murder-for-hire contracts, executions of traitors, and the elimination of rivals who threatened his empire. Le Roux's ruthless approach to business mirrored the darkest aspects of the criminal world. His ability to use both digital methods and physical intimidation made him an extremely dangerous figure. It's believed that he used his resources to orchestrate a number of killings to protect his empire, with contract killers hired to eliminate those who had crossed him. His relationship with violence was calculated. He used it sparingly and only when it would protect his empire or strengthen his control over his network. The downfall, arrest, and betrayal. In 2012, Paul Le Roux's long-running criminal empire finally caught up with him. After years of evading capture, he was arrested in Liberia, where he had been living under the radar. Authorities, Particularly, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, and the FBI had been working together to piece together the complex puzzle of Le Roux's operations. His arrest marked the beginning of the end for his cartel. However, what followed shocked both law enforcement and the criminal world. Le Roux turned himself into a government informant. In exchange for a reduced sentence, Le Roux agreed to cooperate with U.S. authorities and provide information about his criminal activities. This was a game-changing move. Le Roux's cooperation provided authorities with valuable intelligence about his vast network and the people connected to it. His duality, as both a mastermind and an informant, will continue to fascinate criminal experts, journalists, and filmmakers alike. Whether seen as a tragic figure or a cold-blooded criminal, Paul Le Roux's story is one that will likely remain a subject of study for years to come. From cartel kingpin to FBI informant, Paul Le Roux's life is full of twists and turns, making it one of the most mysterious and fascinating stories in the world of crime. His legacy is a testament to the dark side of power, greed, and survival. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Le Roux's complex life, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing stories. Stay tuned for more tales of crime, betrayal, and unexpected twists. A double-edged sword, Le Roux's role as an informant. Le Roux's decision to turn informant was unprecedented. Here was a man who had built an empire of violence and deceit, but who had also become an invaluable resource for law enforcement. His information led to the dismantling of numerous drug rings, weapons smuggling operations, and money laundering networks. His testimony helped expose several criminal organizations operating in the shadows, including some of the most notorious drug cartels in the world. Yet, his decision to flip was controversial. To many, Le Roux was a man without loyalty, someone who had betrayed not only his associates, but also the very world in which he thrived. His willingness to cooperate with authorities raised questions about his true motives. Was he simply trying to save himself? Or was he genuinely attempting to atone for his crimes? Some critics believe that Le Roux was still playing the game, using his status as an informant to strike deals with law enforcement while secretly maintaining ties to his criminal network. The enigma continues. Le Roux's legacy and influence. Today, Paul Le Roux's life remains a subject of intrigue. Though his criminal empire has largely been dismantled, questions remain about the full extent of his influence. His legacy is one of complexity, a man who built a global cartel using the tools of the digital age and whose ability to stay hidden for so long makes him one of the most elusive criminals in modern history. Le Roux's story is a cautionary tale of ambition, technology, and ruthlessness. He is a reminder of how easily technology can be used for both good and ill, and how quickly a person can rise from obscurity to global infamy. His life demonstrates the fine line between genius and criminality, and the potential for anyone to build an empire, whether legal or illegal, in the interconnected world of today's digital landscape.